You know that school system had me convinced that I wasn't smart because I wasn't passing the curriculums. Unbeknownst to me at the time, the spirit had me rejecting their programming because education is only indoctrination based upon rememberization. They grade you on how well you remember the curriculum that they give you. No one ever questions the validity of that curriculum or the biasness, authenticity of that curriculum. The curriculum is programmed to gear you to not see the greatness in yourself and to idolize another set of people. How many of you knew that Mahatma Gandhi was racist against copper-colored people? He did not like us at all. He had very little consideration for us, just as the American statutes that, when I say American, I ain't talking about ancient America, I'm talking about the government America that called us 3/5 of a human being. But we are the greatest on the land. Blueprint. Yes, Mahatma Gandhi was racist and didn't give a fuck about us misnomer African American. And his philosophy was adapted by Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King used Mahatma Gandhi philosophy of peaceful demonstration to disarm his kinsmen and his nation of people. Although he knew the truth of who we are, he used another person's philosophy and applied it and convinced us to adapt this same philosophy. Let the dogs bite you, let the water hose spray you down, don't fight, don't hit back.
Other pioneers for our people's cause didn't see it as Martin Luther King did, and were all for self-defense and self-perseverance. Listen to what Adam Clayton Powell said about Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King is going through agonizing reappraisal. He doesn't belong to the decadent, aristocratic colonials of the civil rights movement. Who are the decadent, aristocratic? Well, I don't want to call names, but the names are obvious. Once he knows what black power really means, he doesn't know what it means. What does it mean? It means dignity. It doesn't mean violence. It means integrity. It doesn't mean anti-white. It means pride in being black. It means you're willing to cooperate with your white brother and sister if they're going to cooperate with you in terms of giving you the same things that they have. That's what it means.
But you suggest that he might be going through an agonizing reappraisal that will wind him up where?
Third phase of Black Revolution.
And does that mean casting aside his principles of nonviolence?
None of us have cast them aside. I don't think Stokely has either. This means that we have cast aside that we're not going to let nonviolence go all the way. That when nonviolence comes to the point of violence, we're going to meet violence with violence for our manhood.
When Stokely...
Not because of black power, but for our manhood, that's all.
Before he died, he admitted that he was wrong. He said, I'm afraid that I have integrated my people into a burning house. How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all took note that Martin Luther King never preached about Jesus? How many of you knew that? How many of you knew that after receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, when the government didn't stand by the promises that they promised him, nothing came to pass. They broke the treaties that they made with him. That's when he started speaking about the land grants, telling the truth about how they gave land grants and subsidized foreigners and immigrants to come here, gave them money to farm, gave them our land. When he started talking about that we're coming to Washington to get our check. When he started saying boycott Coca-Cola, when he started telling his followers to pool their money into black banks, and when he told the people that they were indigenous to this land. And I do quote him saying when he said that American Negro still finds himself languishing in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land.
What?
They knocked him out. Malcolm X was right. Folk trying to march and sit on their buses, folk trying to sit at their tables. We built our own tables, which was a great display of manhood. And if anybody fought with our women and kids, we fight back, which was a great display of manhood. Y'all still following Martin Luther King, not knowing that the man admitted that he was wrong about integrating his people into a burning house rather than keeping us segregated, and we build our own societies. There is a stigmata in our mind, knowing that whenever we build our own cities, they bomb it, like the Philadelphia African movement, like the Tulsa Rise. Everything that we build, they destroy. Rosewood, Central Florida. How many of you knew that 90-something% of the people that you see hung in the pictures on Google, on all the pictures that you can pull up on slavery, most of 90% of the people that you see hanging from their noose were landowners, meaning that they hung them to get the deeds to their land. Why do you think that you can go back one generation and your grandparents had acres of land, keep going back further, and they had more? Because we are the landowners of this land. We are indigenous. They didn't bring us here. We was already cropping and picking cotton because cotton was used by us before the ships came here. Just like cocaine, just like marijuana, maize, aka corn, collard greens, tobacco. We was already doing all that. Did you know that the Black Panther is indigenous to America? Black Panthers and Panthers are indigenous to America. That's why Huey P. the Black Panther Party chose the Black Panther as their mascot because it's indigenous to America. And all the Black Panther females and males was college graduates. It was scholars, professors, economists, strategists, very intellectual human beings. Martin Luther King got a doctorate in Bible and in religion. He wasn't as smart as these. He wasn't as well organized as this group of brothers and sisters. How many of you knew that Huey P. Newton and the other brother, I forget his name, I think I don't hear, but for the sake of I'm keep going, wasn't shot callers. It was Angela Davis, Assata Shakur. The women called the shots. It's just like if your mama say, beat his ass on, you're gonna do exactly what mama say and fight harder than a motherfucker. Listen, they villainized the Black Panther Party, accused them of being a racist group, and y'all fell for it. But look what Huey P. Newton said to this white woman on her TV show that didn't know that she was speaking for all her kinsmen, and told the flat-out truth that we scare them when we don't let them beat us and kill us.